I remember last year about this time when we were praying for Becky, Jess, and Gwen to go to Congo. I remember going to a little prayer gathering, and Steph Johns was kind of teaching something about the Lord's Prayer, and I've known that prayer all my life, but I got so stuck on thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Like, what exactly are you talking about there? Like, what are you saying? Like, what am I praying if I'm praying for your kingdom to come? It says, pray like this. This is the Lord's Prayer. Pray, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And so that was just a huge impact for me to go, okay, do I believe this? And so where do I fit into that? It's new to me that I know that I'm a child of God and that I'm a co-heir with Christ, and I can pray along with him, that I'm a partner because I'm a child of God, that I can pray those big prayers that seem impossible, but God can do anything to bring his kingdom to this earth. You didn't design sickness. You didn't design sin and all these struggles. You knew that it was going to happen, but it wasn't in your design, and so we can pray and believe that you have something greater. I heard about at church that they were going to have another meeting for the Ebola crisis in West Africa, and so just wanted to attend and see what my part was. So I was running on Saturday morning before we had that prayer, and just praying like, okay, what is my part in this? Like, what would you like me to pray? And I remember, so I was asking God that, and I remember just the next thought was, you should pray that it can't replicate. And I'm just like, well, that's kind of a weird thing to pray, because what I know of viruses, I have a chemistry degree, so I have a science background, but what I know of viruses is they generally adapt and get stronger. And so I was like, okay, well, that felt like one of those big things to pray, just because it seemed so like, well, that's not really possible. But if it can't replicate, then it can't overwhelm the immune system, so that the immune system could do its job to eradicate it. Viruses, the way that they replicate is that they, will invade a healthy cell, and then they kind of take over their synthesizing. They copy themselves, just make lots of copies, and then those copies are released from the cell, and then they go find healthy cells, and so it's just a bigger and bigger cycle. And so generally the immune system will respond by detecting unhealthy cells, and they'll go through whatever process to eradicate those cells. With cells that are infected with Ebola, they don't really recognize that they're infected at first. I don't know if it takes a little bit, but it's like it's kind of good at hiding. So they're kind of just copying themselves like undetected. And so then it's so much for the immune system to take on once it is something that's detected. And so when I read that, I was just like, oh, like that could be why God was wanting me to pray this, because if the immune system was able to identify immediately that this was an infected cell, then it could be taken care of. I think that that's my whole baby steps of things. I think God is working that out in me, because it feels very bold to say, look, this is a virus and this is not something that God designed. So I feel like I believe that in my heart, but saying that out loud is just like, I don't know. It's one of those things that's like, people are going to start to think that you're crazy if you say that. But, okay, if sickness was not part of his design, then that includes viruses. And he designed our bodies so magnificently. I think that too is almost like, this is an affront to God. Like, look, he designed our immune system to detect these cells, that are infected. And so that's not of God. Before, my heart and perspective was that I shouldn't bother God with those small things, and that those big things, well, those are just for someone that really has it all together, can pray to bring forth. Now it's just more of that confidence. So my words are more like, not expectation, but anticipation. Praying from victory, knowing that Christ he's already defeated everything, and he's brought that victory. And so I can pray from that place to bring kingdom to earth.